Game number one. Yes, we are back to Division S Europe. A little bit of live stream action, which means that we have the draft available again. So off we go. Crystal Gaming against Disgusting. Yeah, this could be an interesting match between the two teams because, well, right now both of them are in interesting spots. First of all, Crystal Gaming headed, of course, into the season with a pretty nice win. And it's the former KiiKoo Combo, by the way, in case that someone hasn't really realized that yet. I already talked about this extensively in the last video that we had with them and even before that, but they were picked up by an organization after they just dominated the qualifiers and then made it into Division S. They're now known as Crystal Gaming. And they go up against Disgusting, which is another team that barely made it into Division S. And Disgusting has so far only won a single map in Division S. Now, they went up against some of the heavy hitters, and it was already a tough stretch for them to begin with. But now going up against Crystal Gaming is interesting, because Crystal Gaming actually lost to Pepe My Lady, which was kind of a bit of a surprise, especially after map 1, where they dominated. But I don't really think they're very happy about that 1-1 position that they now have in the standings. They have played 2 matches, this is their third. They have suffered 1 loss at the hands of Pepe My Lady and won a game. But off we go. The Lucio ban, by the way, is absolutely just designed to target Ixia on the other side. Ixia is just insane. The guy plays Brightwing and Lucio, and there's an immediate Brightwing first pick. Normally, I would rip the team that does that completely apart here, but when Ixia does it, then I have to say that he is getting mad value out of that. So, as much as Trashwing is just a useless fruit fly in the hands of Ixia, he molds garbage into a sculpture that is actually then sold for mad value. Weird analogy, I know, got a little bit away from me there, but just putting it out there, Ixia is pretty insane on Lucio and Brightwing in particular, and that's why Lucio got banned. Deathwing also gets banned here. We have Vala and Oriel, and if you look at the draft, you can already tell, even with that Brightwing setup, this is Europe. Deathwing gets banned out, Rexa gets banned on Dragonshire, target bans against the opponent team. But yeah, lately we had so much Division S North America that I see Cho'Galls everywhere. And Deathwing makes it oftentimes through the draft or is not even recognized. That's always interesting. But the Vala and Oriel setup is definitely already a decent one. Yeah, Forster gets banned, so they're limiting the globals a little bit. They have, of course, a couple of options. They can either now go into Dehaka themselves, or they can just say, hey, we're going to play it with Brightwing, and that is enough for us. There's a few more things that they could definitely pull off, especially when we're talking about potentially going into I mean, they haven't taken a damage dealer yet, so they still need something on that end. Sylvanas is banned away from them, but you can still Hanzo it if you want to. I mean, there's a lot to be picked right now. Mages, plenty of them up. Jaina, Liming, both still up for grabs that could be taken here. I'm just waiting until we're having a team going straight in against some of those Abathur Zeratul setups again that we see with Granite Gaming and especially with Tai. But of course you need to have that style and you need to have a team that really plays around this properly. But there we go. Sylvanas and Forster are banned out. And now with the next few picks, okay, Greymane and Dehaka. Yep, they went for Dehaka after the ban on Forster. They locked in the global. And now they pretty much have the entire macro arsenal in their hands. They have ETC, who in theory can go for stage dive. They have Brightwing for global. They have Dehaka for global. So they can rotate around the opponent 6 days to Sunday if they want here. Whereas Disgusting will have to try and force these fights. And they have the tools for it to do it. I mean, Johanna in particular can drop the blessed shield then later. But how do they follow up? They still need the top laner too to deal with Dehaka. And it's gonna be Blaze. Blaze and Li Ming. Okay. There's the reset attempts. And the last pick for Yasuo as we're heading into game number 1. I mean, Crystal Gaming right now. With game... I mean, they obviously want to win this one. They were probably pretty upset losing against Pepe My Lady, which was an insane series, by the way. It was beautiful. If you haven't watched it, jump onto YouTube and check it out. Pepe My Lady versus Crystal Gaming. Insane best of 5. It was fantastic. But that was definitely something that set them back slightly. So now they're trying to make up for it by securing themselves a victory here. And mentioned previously, there's Hanzo now. Hanzo locked in. We're jumping into the game. Game number 1 in the best of 5 series at Division S Europe. Game number 1. Dragonshire is the map, and off we go. On the left side, the blue team with Kolios on Hanzo, Slate on Dehaka, Ixie on Brightwing, Yasu on Greymane, and Skevubi on ETC. To the right side of the map, Lavekal for Disgusting on Liming, Itrux on Vala, we have Akunis on Blaze, Rutek on Oriel, and Sartuas is playing Johanna in the game. First game of the best of 5, and yep, let's see what the red team can pull off. The favorite is the blue team. As I said in previous games, they dominated, absolutely dominated the qualifiers, which made it even more so interesting that they struggled against Pepe Maledi this hard when they faced off against them again in Division S. So, you know, obviously attempting to establish themselves a little bit higher up in the rankings here. But right now they find themselves very much so in the middle of the pack. But maybe here they can start to set those kills up that will help them to rise a little bit. In terms of builds, we have already level 1 the Hyper Shift now for Brightwing. And definitely keep your eye out for Ixia. I mean, he is really putting Brightwing on the map for sure. But also his Lucio. I mean, his Lucio literally got banned out. He played, I think, Lucio the last time on this map. He absolutely crushed with him, so that was pretty impressive. But here we go. You have the rotations already between the two of them. It's kind of funny that Skevubi actually... He's not only riding the Snowflake, he goes for the Golden Snowflake. Okay, even more special. I'm special! Yep, you're a special Snowflake, my friend. And you're even a Golden Special Snowflake. So, off we go. Currently, with the camps taken on both sides, Hanzo has moved to the left side to take the Siege Giants and gets a bit of an assistance there. Up at the top, Dehaka, pretty much alone right now, since Greymane has already moved to the Bruiser camp over to the left. And nobody on the red team side actually goes for that. Instead, they're moving to the bottom to try and grab this one away, which could actually work out and kind of will work out, considering that nobody is really moving in yet to disturb them. But it could also mean that the top lane is going to be aggressively pushed by the blue team, since they have Greymane, and now that there's no counterweight to balance the camp push from the blue team out, that's a chance to take this entire wall apart, and I think they're going to try and use that. Now, of course, the red team is reacting. Disgusting is attempting to make that play at the bottom of the map and get a lead there, but this is going to be pretty much an exchange. Greymane is already on it, and Greymane destroys structures. I mean, he really, really does. I'm not quite sure exactly that works, because structures are usually pretty solid, and if you have a wolf scratching at a wall a little bit, that normally doesn't do all that much damage, but then you go to Heroes of the Storm, and it's like, oh boy. But bot lane is also falling. Fountain is already down. Oh my god, Hanzo nearly dying too. That was nearly first blood. And top side, seems like the blue team, after all, is able to push a little bit faster. Worgen form on Greymane is just wrecking this. And that's the end of the fort. But of course, at the bottom of the map, with the double camp even, Disgusting is trying to pull that off too, and they're able to take the fort down. So this is going to accelerate the entire game. If you end up with a trade like this, then you pretty much accelerate the game a little bit. And at the point where the two teams took their Bruiser camp at roughly the same time, there was really no other play than going for a trade. You can't just simply allow one team to push and the other one tries to cross the entire map just for the defense. It doesn't work out. By the time that you are there, they have already done a huge amount of damage. You might save the fort, but your own push at on the other side won't have done anything. So that was the right choice here for sure, to just simply go for the trade and just accept the trade. Now the blue team has an advantage on the Shrine top side because of their fort and everything, and the red team has the advantage at the bottom. Arcanus here is still going to get away, but a lot of damage against him at the bottom of the map. The fight is continuing with that 4 versus 3 that we had the entire time here. And there we go. 6 against 6, 7 against 7 now, so that's going to enhance those builds a little bit and will give us a bit of a clear idea of what's happening here. Yep, Calamity is in. Also, Wizened Duelist for Greymane. Okay, he's going to try and start stacking. At the bottom of the map, Oriel is keeping them still in play. Johanna has now to deal with the mid lane. So bot lane, the red team needs to make something happen here. I mean, they are the team that still has the fountain over there. So they need to try and really push this out, but they are struggling. Oh, ho, ho, ho! First blood is in as Hanzo gets dropped. Vala might have delivered the final shot here, but let's be honest for just a moment. That was a Liming combo that was absolutely on point. Lavekal here with the big boy play. setting it up, just teeing it up for Vala, and Vala says, thank you very fucking much, but this is another setup. And Johanna doesn't have a chance here. I mean, even if trade cooldown was ready, she had no chance. First the power slide and then the perfect timing on the polymorph, and that's the end of her. And also, this is going to be the first Dragonite. Yep, Coleus moves in, and off we go. Mid lane. Nice. And that turned quickly. Started off with Disgusting, grabbing the first kill, and then all of a sudden you have that Dragonite just powering through the middle. So very, very nicely done by the blue team. Quick turnaround from them. The question is, of course, still remaining, how much can they actually get with this? And since the Dragonite is occupying the resources of the red team in the mid lane, the push at the bottom of the map, that one is hurting right now. Yep, there we've got that. Maybe take that wall down. And he's still pushing the middle. Having that breath is like the most important thing that you can probably do. This is why a lot of teams will still save the Dragonite and just like stay in the back, because it's just such a great AoE spell that you can always get mad value out of it if you just wait for the cooldown and then push it out again. Just look at how much damage they get against the structures here alone. It's another 10 seconds, but that's definitely one more breath right there. More damage against the entire wave, nearly taking that completely down. Level 10 abilities are already for both teams. And that's also where we have the Blink heal in again. And even more globals, by the way. They already have Brightwing in a global position. They have also Stage Dive for ETC. Plus, in addition to that, of course, Dehaka himself. Oh, the arrow! Oh, missing completely. The drag then connects on Blaze. But he doesn't even have to drop the bunker. We have Aegis over Resurrect, taken now too. No Resurrect with Vala. Okay, but that's a kill. Yeah, Yasuo's gonna go down. Nicely done. Well set up, and especially Liming, of course, doing a great job pushing him back in with a wave of force. So there's the lead for Disgusting. Disgusting is actually doing extremely well here when you compare it to their previous performance. They're really starting to grow a little bit into the league. But it's, of course, a tough match either way. They are the team that barely made it into Division S. Initially, they actually didn't qualify. And then nothing changed, withdrew, because they said that they're not really interested in playing Heroes of the Storm on the higher level anymore. And therefore, a slot opened up, and since they barely didn't make it through the qualifier, but were the final team, or the next team in line, Disgusting was able to fill that slot. And now they are trying to play through all of that. And they're actually starting to really gain some momentum. It's still going to be a bit of an uphill battle, I would assume, in this series, unless Crystal Gaming is going to tilt there slightly. Now, of course, with all of those setups, we still have to wait for Ixia to make a few of the plays. Already moving back to get some additional mana before he jumps back in. But again, his performance on heroes that you would usually more so see on the meme side with Brightwing and Lucio is incredible. Absolutely incredible. For now, we have already the attack right there, and the setup with the Blessed Shield. They're trying to go for the kill. The arrow connecting with 3, and there's the Stage Dive. Aegis actually stopping all of that, and ETC finds himself on the receiving end of the beating, but it is Blaze that dies first, and that's not 2 kills against 2, but Dehaka! Nearly a kill against him. Instead, it's Greymane that falls, and he's not the only one. Hanzo dies, and the resets allow for a kill against Dehaka too. Yeah, that's 3 heroes down. 1 for 3 trade. Didn't really see this one coming. I love how they're stacking the camps at the bot lane, by the way. Disgusting is doing this really, really well. So they are using that bot lane and mercenary control to get a ton of pressure onto the wall at the keep. And they should actually walk away with the Dragonite here. I mean, again, it's like 3 heroes down. They're just now coming back. But yeah, 2 kills against 5. And guys, if you actually want to see some top-notch Lucio and Brightwing play, then I can only recommend the same series that I already highlighted during the draft. Crystal Gaming against Pepe My Lady. It's on the YouTube channel. I think the thumbnail even has an epic stamp on it because it was an incredible series, and there's some fantastic plays in there from Crystal Gaming with Lucio, and Ixia is just absolutely excelling there. But either way, now that we are looking at the first map of this one, the lead goes to Disgusting. They have the Dragonite. The question is simply, what can they do with it? because they opted for moving onto the keep instead of going through, let's say, mid lane fort, for example, or splitting the lane. So that means that they really are backing their hopes on this. As an attempt actually from the Haka to come in, but the Wave of Force denies that. The arrow was already used too, and this is actually starting to become a little bit dicey for the blue team. They have to be really careful with this one. They're trying to force it past the Dragon Knight. Hanzo is still there in the back, but the problem is that Yasuo's about to go down, but not before he gets the kill against Li Ming. Still a 1-for-1 trade, and a bit of a punt attempt by the Dragon Knight. ETC is also on the run, and they should be able to get him. I mean, once that Vala has walled back up, she doesn't even need it, to be honest. Ooh, the whip is missing, but ETC is down. Dragon Knight has been defended against, though. 2-for-1 on the kill count, so it's a net plus for Disgusting. But they weren't able to take down the bottom keep. Now, they're trying to move in now. 2 heroes are still dead. And they still have Vala here. They also can use the poke with Blaze to get the keep a little bit lower. The main goal has to be to escort the catapult in and try and drop it. But Greymin is now back too. And once that we are seeing the final hero moving back in, you have to be a bit more careful. But it doesn't really seem like they can make the entire play. No. Keep eats a lot of damage, but it's still... yeah, it's still there. Lost a little bit more than 50% HP, but they weren't able to take it down. So you can always make the argument now that maybe it would have been better to go straight into the middle here. But 16 talents already, and that's a pretty solid lead. You have 4 kills ahead, an entire level, which gives us a talent advantage for them. Vala, ooh. Yeah, we see that a little bit more lately. Seething Hatred with the multi-shot build. ETC, no, not like this, my friend. Yeah, got surprised by 4 heroes and just destroyed within seconds. And that's the end of the fort. It's an easy elimination of fort and fountain in the mid lane. And they can even rotate towards the bot side and try to, first of all, defend against this. And if they can get Kolios, if anybody would have just dropped some damage here, but they didn't know where he was. They knew that initially, of course, he was here somewhere, but they can't find him. And now that he Hearthstone back, they have the chance to go for the camp. But yeah, ETC dying like this was, of course, a bit of a setback for the blue team. Yeah, I don't know. Crystal Gaming is actually struggling a little bit more. When they came into the league, they started things off with a victory against the Vikings, and it was a very impressive one. And since then, they just didn't show quite the same dominance anymore. So now they are going for the keep, and the keep actually falls. The arrow doesn't connect, the Haka comes in from the side, and that whip does not connect either, but the jet propulsion indeed does, and the body block attempts are there against Slade. He still waddles out of harm's way. There's Strafe though. Oh, that's the kill. Blessed Shield follow-up after the jet propulsion. And yeah, where do you go from now? I don't think that you're going to go for core. You guys still have to decide what you want to do with all of this freedom that you all of a sudden have. You can try and make the play for the Dragon Knight. Still, keep in mind that there's also a big push at the top lane. There's still, of course, the entire wall intact, so it's not really a huge deal just yet, but someone will have to deal with that eventually. Over here, this still gets pressured, but the core is not... I mean, it's not going to fall. It's not going to lose any hit points either. Blue team has in force rotated towards the top. Blaze is alone, gets some help from Johanna. Rest of the team is rotating in too. They can force a fight now. Blessed Shield back in 20, whip into the wall, and the kill against... oh my god! Against Ixia. Greymane nearly down, but then Ixia comes in with Brightwing and saves him. But this is another staggered death. They're still on the map with 4. This keep, by the way, is starting to get an absolute beating. 2 catapults on the keep. It's not a laughing matter. And Lavakal is actually the one to deal with it finally, but that took a long time. This is not the guy that does the damage, my friend. This over here is what you need to take down. Is he kidding? I mean, that's another 4 shots with the catapults that were definitely avoidable. I'm not saying that's going to lose them the game, but catapults should always be your very first priority here. As much as that spell aura would piss me off too. Anyways, as it stands, 1.5 level lead for Disgusting, and they go through the bot lane. What? Oh, that's a ballsy move. Trying to go for core without a talent advantage? Oh boy. You have a Dragon Knight, true, but it's a 13-minute Dragon Knight. I mean, that is a very ballsy move. Dragon Knight is just going for it. Okay, it's a 4 versus 5 in the back. They're just trying to buy time here. Oriel can always go for... well, I mean, she can't go for the Resurrection. She doesn't have it. Here comes ETC as he jumps in, and they're trying to go for game, but that's the end of Blaze. Oriel is already dead. There's a lot of really good damage, but is it going to be enough? 50%? They're getting much closer than expected. Ballsy call, but they're actually pulling it off, aren't they? Yes, they are. That's game. Disgusting with an insane shot call. They drop the core and win game number 1. Game number 2. Great core call. Fantastic core call by Disgusting. I gotta be honest, I thought they would get wrecked at the core. I really thought that with good focus fire on the damage dealers, Crystal Gaming would annihilate them. The core would be maybe a bit low, but then the game would of course shift in its dynamic. But Disgusting with a fantastic call there, really well executed too, and they made it happen. So it was a clutch one, and it worked out extremely well. They have the lead in the series now, and Crystal Gaming has to all of a sudden ask themselves, guys, what's happening here? We're all of a sudden starting to lose game after game after game. We need to turn these things around. So, Disgusting in the lead now with a 1-0. Battlefield of Eternity is our second map. Deathwing banned out right away. Lucio get rid of again. It's kind of fantastic. It's like, I mean, there's so many teams that have one player that excels on a certain hero, but oftentimes it's a hero that is also to an extent in the meta. Lucio's not a meta hero. But Ixia does have such a big impact with Lucio whenever he plays him for the team that everybody just says like, nope, just go away. It's just like, no, we're going to ban Lucio in this case. Okay, so Johanna's banned too. And let's have a quick look of what we're looking at in terms of the first pick. I can pretty much guarantee you that we're not going to see Shoga though. This ain't North America. Okay, Vala again. Arrow build, of course, great for Battlefield of Eternity. The quick pressure with Monster Hunter against the objective is priceless. If they can, they will likely pick Oriel again together with it, unless it's taken away from them. And that's now what... Oh, Zarya set up for Ixia. He likes Zarya. He's really good on the hero too. Played it in the past as well on the map. But so they have Zarya immediately as a lock-in. Didn't get banned out this time. And together with Zarya, we have Mal'Ganis. Okay, the stage is pretty much set. And let's see. It should be an Oriel pick now for Disgusting. But what are they going to pick together with that? What are they going to focus on first? If you go up against Zarya, you pretty much already know that you're going to face off against a very strong foreman that is going to try and bully you at the bot lane. So your top lane needs to be in a spot where that hero is able to sustain himself properly. There's Garrosh. It's actually an option that was there for Crystal Gaming too. Oftentimes if you see Zarya, there's of course a combo with Garrosh because the speed barrier allows him to aggressively run into the opponent's team, flip someone back and stun them out. Malfurion for the stun. The Uther ban right away. Yeah, even in Europe you see the occasional Uther ban depending on the team that's being played against. Now, of course, that double support would be a little bit more nasty and they want to avoid it at the top lane, but let's see what else we're going to get. Also, against heroes like Mal'Ganis, if you have too many stuns against him, then it's going to be a bit of a nuisance, really making, like, surviving through all of that damage is going to be pushed on you. I'm still waiting for Li Ming, honestly. I mean, there's a ban against Greyman, but where the fuck is Li Ming? Most of the teams first pick her, in this case we don't even see her appear at all, and her poke is just crazy. Greyman gets banned because his synergy together with a hero that we already have for Crystal Gaming is quite strong. But what are they going to pick now? Okay, Thrall for the top lane. Yeah. And there's Li Ming. Alright, I was really waiting for this one. It's a bit of a late pick on her. Okay, what else? Disgusting right now. Disgusting has the double pick towards the end at this point. So they need a top laner that has to deal with Thrall. Can still go for some setup, even with Garrosh here if you want. Even with Blaze if you want. Of course, other options for them now too. But they have to burn through this front line somehow. There's Blaze. And Falstad. Okay, we've seen the bird a little bit more often lately, even in Battlefield of Eternity. Still a little bit torn on that. Like, I like Falstad, but I think the frequency with which we've seen him lately, and also some of the maps that he gets played, that's always a little bit like... Karazim! Okay, I mean, he's a bit stronger now after the recent buffs, of course. Will be interesting to see him with this setup. Game 2, Battlefield of Eternity. The lead goes to Disgusting. Big shout out to them, was great. And let's see if they can make it a 2-0, or if Crystal Gaming wins their first map in this best of 5. Let's head straight into map number 2. Game number 2, Crystal Gaming against Disgusting, Division S Europe. Kolios on the left side for the blue team on Liming. We have Slade on Thrall, immediately heading topside. Skevubi on Mal'Ganis, Yasuo on Karazim. And Ixir is playing Zarya. And over to the right side of the map, we have Itrex on Vala, Satuas on Garrosh. The blue team has suffered a loss at their hands on map number 1. Lavikal on Falstad, as Disgusting is trying to make it a 2-0 lead. Rutek on Malfurion, and Arkunis is playing Blaze in this second map. And off we go. Karazim, of course, now a little bit faster since Blizzard buffed him in the recent patch. Has now an increased movement speed as well. Already on level 1, seeing the arrow build starting up for Itrex. Not a surprise, again, this is the map to go for it. The Trolling Thunder, again. Yeah, also another talent that got buffed, so Blizzard wanted to make sure that not only Echo of Elements, and depending on the composition and the map, the Trash Lightning are an option, but Trolling Thunder now, especially on the solo lane, on a map like Battlefield of Eternity, a bigger option. Level 1 talent here, maximum charge for Zarya. Ixir, of course, known for the hero, as much as he's known for his Brightwing and Lucio. And everybody is starting to just brawl a little bit through the bot lane. This is where the foreman is going to try and reign supreme. The camps will be interesting. The 2 camps, top side and bot side, to see who is going for them. If we have someone splitting off for one of the teams towards the top and try and secure this one, while giving up the one at the bottom. It's usually an even trade between them. But yeah. Also, Atrax with his little witch still getting the damage in, and Yasuo needs to be a bit careful. Karazim is still a bit of a hero when it comes to the supporters, always a little bit like, maybe not. I mean, the buffs definitely help him, don't get me wrong. But generally speaking, when it comes to the heal numbers and the way that he can save all of that, it is starting to become a little bit tricky. He oftentimes falls short if compared to other meta support, even like, for example, Rhaegar in this case. But again, he has been buffed slightly, so we now see him occasionally, and let's see what they can actually pull off with that. Together with the shield from Zarya, that's definitely more of an aggressive stance that we can take with the support now, of course, as well. Nice throw. Flips that over and just says like, alright, you have to go come and get this one. Which they do, but as already explained earlier, Falstad is actually now has rotated topside, so it's going to be the trade. Bot lane against the top lane control. But at the bot lane, they're going to pressure now heavily. There's a bit of a rotation towards the top. Actually towards the Shaman camp instead, which makes more sense. And already Garrosh doing his thing to flip them into the tower range to make the defense a bit easier. When it comes to the talents though for Falstad, we have again the static shield here. Level 7, on this map, as I said before, you can go both. Boomerang is always awesome if you can secure it, but we could see also a bit more of a lightning rod focus on level 7 for him, given the map and the way it works, so both possible. Level 4 with the puncturing arrow now on the other side. And yeah, towards the top already a little bit of a trap moment that we have from them. Triumpher comes in. Immortal is spawning in 5. Garrosh wants to eliminate the Shaman as quickly as they can, and indeed they do. And the timing is a little bit better for Disgusting on the objective. Or at least on the cam top side, which gives them also the lead into the objective. They're trying to burn that down as quickly as they can. Karazim is obviously another hero that has a pretty good output when it comes to the Immortal itself. Might be one of the reasons also why they went into him. Can say the same to an extent also from Rhaegar, since he has obviously the lightning shield to contribute. But in we go. Still the play to be bait. Yeah, the jet propulsion. A good attempt, but not enough. Vala the one to try and drop the Monster Hunter over here, but it's actually a pretty tight battle between the two. And right now, the blue team is slightly ahead and is trying to lock it down. They're moving in, trying to grab it early. Oh, Mal'Ganis is in trouble and is moving out of harm's way, barely. Itrex was close and tried to get a few more shots in, but he couldn't quite deliver the kill. Got close though, very close. But it's just a defensive posture, and with Liming now firing away as Kolios has taken a side here, this is an Immortal that should be won by Crystal Gaming without any big problems. Vala is just trying to go for damage mitigation on the right side, as she's trying to drop that, but they're in trouble now. On the first objective, of course. Again, early on in the game, always a lot of comeback potential, but they gotta be careful here. So towards the top, that's where everybody is still trying to go for the defense. We have Thrall already at the bottom of the map. Level 7 talents are going to be super important there now as well. And it's going to be available a little bit quicker for the red team, which could actually help them with the defense here too. Just need to lock that in. And we will have Calamity for Li Ming as the follow-up. Actually went Ether Walk on level 1. And here we have it. Oh, big flip over. Oh my god, Mal'Ganis, they try to go through the small wall, and they might actually just barely save them. But there's the level 7 talents. Boomerang it is. There's also the repeating arrow for Vala. False that has come in too, so can use the global to move back down to the bottom of the map. Give me 20 on Zarya's level 4, and here come the level 7 talents. Yep. As usual, Ancestral Wrath and Calamity have been claimed. We have on top of that also the Blinding Speed now. And let's see. It's pretty even still. Still a slight lead for the red team on experience, but they try to make the play. Oh, ho, 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 Garrosh. Careful, my friend. Also, Li Ming is getting Vala is getting locked down a lot harder. Li Ming is able to connect the combo after Thrall came in unsuspectingly from the side and connects the Frostwolf. So there's an opportunity to maybe even drop that fort after all, and they are attempting to take it. Ixia is doing as pretty much everything he can, but the wave is taken apart very, very quickly. Okay, so Coleus is still sitting here. Gets the side in. Sartuas is also still looking for potential flip against Yasuo. The problem is that Kharazim, of course, can always jump out and has also the speed movement, which really helps him. Lock down up to the top. This game will be... and another combo. Li Ming is really, really homing those in. And it ends with the bird falling. And the reset nearly leads to another kill, as Coleus is already looking to drop Garrosh, but he can't make that happen. So, yep, nicely done. And they're already pushing in to try and get another quick kill in there. Yeah, off we go. Coleus is doing really, really well with this right now. Okay, so top side, they go straight in for the move once again. And down to the bottom of the map. It's actually still kind of funny, because especially when we're talking about Li Ming, since Marke has now also played a couple of games again, and when you look towards North America, for example, the most interesting part about her is currently really that the level 4 talent is just so flexible. We still see Dominance being picked quite a lot, but of course after Blizzard nerfed the talent and it's now only adjusting to the missing HP, it's a lot weaker than before. But we still see also the missiles taken on level 4, so you can actually go for every single talent here. Despite the fact that right now, of course, Triumvirate is becoming more the standard, but everything else is still possible. With missile talents picked in North America and still by players like Marke, I mean, just yesterday we saw that play. It's actually really interesting. And even Ether Walk, after getting buffed, is now getting more value. With the kills that we just had from Crystal Gaming, they're really starting to set themselves heavily ahead here, by the way. Taking the fort down at the top lane was already the first step, and now getting 2 more kills just as the objective is in is, of course, just the same, just the best move to continue with that pressure, especially through the bot lane. Now, someone should move topside, and that's actually where Thrall is headed right now to grab this, but this is nearly 100% shield immortal. I mean, we're looking at 90, roughly. Ult for Vala is not really taken yet. We still have the palm, though, so that's the thing. And everybody is moving down to the bottom on the map and is trying to set this up. Sartras is already looking for a flip. But they're already paying this. I mean, of course, they are aware that he has... There's a good chance that he's waiting exactly there. And off we go. They're starting to make the play straight in for the wall, and that one disappears quickly. Now they have an open shot at the fountain and can also take down the fort itself. Yeah, good boomerang damage against Mal'Ganis. That definitely hurt. The bird connected that one nicely. 11 stacks for Vala, so she's really starting to get those arrows in. Has 12, missed the second one after dropping the repeating arrow. So they are getting pressured heavily. You can really tell that Crystal Gaming is not fucking around in game number 2. After they lost the first one, they were not really happy, and now they're trying to go for it, but that's a beautiful setup. The palm connects nicely, Yasuo even jumping over the wall to make it happen. They're still trying to open it up, and he's buying a mad amount of time, but he dies regardless. Thrall is now in, though. Drops the Earthquake as they're trying to go for the counter kill. The Immortal about to fall, but gets some hits off against the keep. So they have actually done a lot of damage down here. They got the fort, they got the wall, and they also got some damage onto the keep itself. Kill against Mal'Ganis, I mean, I would still call worth it, so could maybe have gone a little bit better for them. But you can't really discount what they accomplished here. They have control over pretty much the middle of the map now. Both of their forts are still standing. They have Mal'Ganis now back. That's a really good setup. Nice throw forward on Blaze. They were hoping that he can connect the jet propulsion with Thrall. Not so far. But, yep. There we go. 16. That's the talent count that we have. There comes the taunt, and the palm is in, and Garrosh down. Nicely done. Karazim absolutely on point with these palms now. And they also get the kill against Malfurion. He doesn't stand a chance. They're coming out of the bunker at this point. That's just a problem. And now there's momentum. And right now, Crystal Gaming can decide if they want to try and push the keep. And as you can tell, they definitely want to. Yeah, they are really not taking any prisoners here. They're just pressuring. Objective, cams, screw that. We go straight in for the keep. We take the down before the heroes respawn. And then we have the pressure through the bot lane and also an opening for later on in the game to maybe even end them. So yeah, off we go. Great setup for them. 5 kills against 1, level 13 talents. The jet propulsion doesn't connect, and they nearly turn it around against them. 23,000 damage. I mean, look at Vala. She has 33k. Of course, a bit enhanced through Strafe, but still. But even with all that damage, they can't get kills. And if you can't get the kills, then you can't really do anything. So, there we go. Comes our little setup here. They go up to the top. Bit of an earlier start, actually, for the red team. So that's good for them. Very good for them. And they win the halftime show. Yeah. Crystal Gaming mistimed this slightly. Having the priority this heavily on their own Shaman camp did not really help them. But now the situation is changing quickly. They can be the one making the play here for the Immortal, and the red team hasn't even made a move yet. Atrax is slowly moving towards the top, but they're already waiting for him. You know that Vala is coming, but they're just going for the race. They're just saying, okay, screw it. Like, we can get that way quicker than that. And they do. They definitely do. If they can move in for that, for sure. Zarya dropping the oldest. They're trying to create some space. Karazim is on point. 13 versus 13. Siphoning arrow. Giant killer on top of it. And they're starting to make the play here. Gust into the Immortal stun, actually. Nice. But the Immortal is taken. Immortal is taken. There's a big wave at the bottom of the map that is going to arrive at the core in just a second. The shield from Zarya is just too much. The extra layer of defense is so powerful right now. There's the palm. It gets procced. Karazim dashes out. And the fight isn't even over yet. But it's still ongoing with finally a jet propulsion locking the heroes down so that Thrall and Zarya both die. But it seems like the core is going to take a bit of damage there. Yeah, it definitely is. Core is going to take actually way more damage than I expected. It's falling down to 89%. More than that even. 85. Wow, 15% lost. But the Immortal won't be able to do a lot at the top lane. Not with here 2 heroes dead. Haha, Kolios sits there and says, boys, I'm going to make the plays. I still can make something happen. It's not working out that way. But they open up the top wall, so at least they get something done. And 15% of the opponent's core, that's not really bad either. So it's still an entire level lead that we have for the blue team. Generally speaking, we have a solid, very solid lead now. I mean, Discussing is doing whatever they can to come back into this. And as you can already tell, it's not really easy. Okay, off we go. There we have another Gust into the corner. Tranquility is already off. They're still trying to fight for the camp here. A big battle, 5 versus 5 with the bunker on the ground. Slade is in trouble. Gets the palm, but he doesn't proc this time. Slightly mistimed. And he throws Blaze back, so they actually... Oh, the bird! The lockdown against Karazim is not enough, and the bird gets chased down by Karazim. Movement speed is helping out here. Don't tell me they're going for the keep again. Really? One hero down, a couple of heroics used, and they immediately say they go keep? They might. They go for the camp. And if they time that now, they can take 2 camps to move in for the keep, and with another 10 seconds on the Falstad, I mean, hell yeah, why not? They're doing it. They're actually doing it. Holy shit, yeah, of course. Saturus is moving back, but the keeps can't run. Newsflash, I know. I mean, you heard it here first, but keeps can't actually move. So the keep is down, and they have level 16 talents now too. That's a bad spot to be in. When you lost both of your keeps against an opponent that still holds on to both their forts, that means that you have 0 counter pressure against the catapults. 0. So that's a pretty rough place to be in. And they're already waiting for the Immortal now too. Yeah, they are just poking away against them. They're just daring them to make a play. Guys, Disgusting has to make a play. They are talent behind, but they still have to make a play now. Can you imagine how shitty that spot is? You are down both keeps and you're down in talent, but you still have to fight? Like, they really don't want this. But they have to. There's no choice anymore. And of course, Crystal Gaming is sitting there and saying, like, we can pretty much do whatever we want now. We can either play it slow and wait for the catapults to push this, or we can exploit the fact that we still hold the talent advantage, which is what they're doing in the first place. So the halftime show is going to be taken by them. Yeah, there we have it. And Falstad is trying to at least get some counter pressure at the bottom of the map by grabbing the camp. But the top lane is also pushing. And the top lane has already catapults that are moving in with this. So it's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse here. The longer this lasts, the better for the blue team. And they already have the advantage. Look at Atrax, he's incredibly low already. Nice stuns, but again, Palm is always ready from Kharazim, and there's the kill against Vala. Guys, this is gonna be game. This is game right here. Falstad is down, Vala is down. This is a cleanup job. It's an absolute cleanup job, and let's not forget about that big wave top lane. There's another kill as, again, Li Ming comes in. I don't even know why they go for the Immortal at this point, to be absolutely honest with you. There's a double catapult already moving through the top. It's 85%. Falstad is dead. I mean, pretty much everybody with the exception of Garrosh and Malfurion. Better safe than sorry, I suppose, so they get the Immortal. And that's definitely going to be game. They're even locking down Garrosh here at the left side. That's a staggered death, and there's just no way to deal with this. Haha! Calamity, yes! Jumps in. Double stun, and off we go. Malfurion is just moonfiring the catapults. It's a triple catapult on the core. The shield is already low even before the team arrives. So, yep, with this we're gonna have a tie in the series. It's impossible to defend this. It's absolutely impossible. You can't. Without keeps, just no way. Absolutely no way. Atrax is already getting chased down by Kharazim, who dodges out on the jet propulsion stun. And now they're starting to go straight in for the victory here. Yeah, that's it. Mighty Gust, it helps you a little bit. I mean, it buys you a bit of time, but the Immortal alone is already going to finish this. The Palm. Oh, he procced it. No, he mistimed it slightly, and the Palm gets procced. Falstad is dead. Again, it all doesn't matter. The Immortal is already on it. Shields are still there, still ranged on the auto attacks of the Immortal, and with 3 heroes down, of course, it's the end. Game 3 is going to start from an even and clean slate. A 1-1 in the series as Crystal Gaming wins Battlefield of Eternity against Disgusting. Game number 3, Volskaya Foundry. Crystal Gaming brought it back on the second map, Battlefield of Eternity. Yeah, now we have Volskaya Foundry. Third map in the best of 5. And let's see if Disgusting can turn it this time. Again, Deathwing, we still expect the ban here, obviously. But will Lucy, for example, be banned again? Is Disgusting really homing in on just those focus bans? Against Kolios, they want to ban Maiev. Against, well, it seems that against Ixia at least, they want to get rid of Lucio. He could adjust things slightly. Now, let's not forget that first pick, first ban actually goes to Crystal Gaming. So that might change things, especially in regards to Deathwing. So that's another thing that's kind of important here. But yeah, they actually hesitate a little bit. Quite a bit, of my dad. Okay, there's a Deathwing ban regardless. So apparently... Oh, my bad, sorry. Of course they don't have first pick, first ban. They have second pick and second ban. My bad. So they still ban out Deathwing. Map choice was therefore made by Crystal Gaming. And... yeah... That's the moment of truth. Lucio, no Lucio. So far they prioritized him in the ban pattern. But if they feel that they need to change things up now, no, they don't. So they don't let Lucio go through. They say like, hey, if you want to have your Zarya again, by all means just go for it. But we're not going to give you Lucio. No speedster for you, my friend. Okay, so next ban. What else are we going to get taken care of here? Both teams hesitate a little bit more. I like that. I actually think that Crystal Gaming also thought they had a pretty easy shot at taking Disgusting down. And, I mean, I'm speculating. I don't really know. But given how dominant they were through the qualifiers, it is fair to assume that they thought they had an easier time here. So losing map number 1 was probably a little bit of a shock. So you can tell that they are taking this a lot more serious, especially the way that they performed on the second map. Now we have Lavekal on Li Ming again. We saw that already on game 1, which they actually successfully took. So that's a big point here for them. And what's the counter going to be? The question is still, is it going to be another Zarya setup pretty much? because that's something that they really like to play. It's something that Ixia really likes to lock down, but Ana and ETC instead are being played. It's another map where you could, of course, also see them make a play for Rexa. It's another hero that is really great here, and that could be taken. On the other side, for Disgusting, they like to play their Blaze setup. I could totally see them going to something with Johanna and Blaze again. It's a really common setup to have, and very sustainable too, if you want to just like focus on those checkpoints. Especially, of course, Blaze is going to help you there a lot. So they pick Johanna, as more or less expected, but they want to prioritize the support at least now, so they go for Malfurion, which means that Blaze is still up for the taking. Crystal Gaming could take him too. I mean, he's great here. You drop the bunker onto the checkpoint, it allows you to just like stay there a little bit longer, which is always an added factor. I mean, I don't think we're going to see a ban on that, and it's not going to happen, but I feel that Crystal Gaming is going to try and deny it to Disgusting at least, so I would assume that they actually like pick it for themselves. And there's that Uther ban again. We have like 2 teams right now in Division S Europe that dabble at least a little bit in that NA meta. That's Paper My Lady and also Disgusting, to an extent at least, that is. So now that Uther gets banned out for that off-lane setup, and therefore also more of those stun combos that could come out, what else are we gonna get here? Well, what's the ban? What's the play? Jaina. Yeah, no nano boost on Jaina. Li Ming is already taken, so they can't nano boost her. So Jaina gets instead taken away, which still gives them plenty of opportunity to go for something different, to be absolutely honest. I mean, right now you're looking at a setup, something different in the sense like there's still good nano boosts out there. Kel'Thas is one, they already played in the past. There's Rexa, as I said. So Rexa, another great setup for them to play around with. I mentioned at the beginning of the draft even that he's fantastic here too, and oftentimes he's way, way higher in the food chain when it comes to picks and bans for a lot of these teams. With Misha, you have a really nice tool that you can use to simply move onto the checkpoint and try and steal either a couple of points away early on, or just, you don't have to really risk too much by setting Misha up there. Phoenix and Leo. Okay, no Blaze this time. Leoric comes in, and now that leaves us with the last pick for Yasuo. A bit more damage would be nice. But yeah, Phoenix over Vala for them. And with Kel'Thas already taken, what are we gonna get? Genji! Okay, Kel'Thas to start things up and get the Living Bomb spread in, and also the Flame Strike, and Genji comes in and finishes the job. Here we go, Crystal Gaming against Disgusting. Game number 3 in the best of 5 series. Game number 3. Here we go. Volskaya Foundry and Nerf Kolios on Kel'Thas, Slade on Rexa, Ixia on Ana, we have Yasuo on Genji, and Skewubi on ETC. And over to the right side of the map, Itrax on Phoenix, we have Rutek on Malfurion, Arcunis on Leo, Satuas on Johanna, and Lavekal on Li Ming in game number 3. Alrighty, let's see who's taking the lead in this series. I mean, pretty much every single time you have a tie, the game or the match gets reduced. This has pretty much just been reduced to a best of 3 that starts now. And a few less maps, of course, available, but yeah, Crystal Gaming going up against Disgusting, and it is time for one of the teams to shine and show what they're made of. So as we already have our little brawl in the middle, Nisha helping out there too. Li Ming is connecting the hits. Leoric, by the way, with Austin's renewal on level 1, and as we so often see in Europe, we have again Slumber Shell, so it's going to be a Sleeping Dart build on Ana. Very, very common here. I mean, again, occasionally you still see a grenade build, but literally this is like the most common setup that we see for her. Yeah, there's a nice setup. They're trying to make the play for Malfurion, but they can't. The Gravity Labs actually didn't connect. If Kolios is able to lock that in, that would have been that. But the first blood goes over to the red team. Disgusting. Disgusting play. No, I have to say, I'm actually pleasantly surprised of how well they're doing here. I'm a little bit in that spot where I'm not quite sure if it's Crystal Gaming starting to struggle a little bit more for whatever reason, or if Disgusting has just already started to step it up, which I honestly didn't expect this quickly into the season. But either way, the games with them are starting to become a little bit closer against the other teams that made it with them through the qualifier into Division S, and that's always nice to have. So it's a pretty solid setup where we are now seeing a lot of action from both teams, and with action I mean mainly both teams are starting to become pretty aggressive here, which is pretty cool to see. It's actually kind of fun, because that aggression makes for quite entertaining games, and it's definitely appreciated. So with this, we now have our push there, straight through the middle, as they're trying to set something up for the first healing beacon. Of course, we already had the other items taken, so that's already important. But over here, the slide comes in as ETC makes his move, and ETC is a little bit alone and gets focused very quickly, and Ladokan is about to lock down the second kill against him. Gets body blocked by his own teammates, and that's Genji down and ETC down. Misha is also falling, and all of a sudden we have Disgusting taking a pretty significant lead in game number 3. That's a really solid one by them. So yeah, good on them. Now with Leo already rotating down to the bottom of the map and 3 kills against 0, that's an entire level lead that we're all of a sudden talking about. But that's a fantastic setup at this point. Disgusting must be pretty happy with this too. I mean, they're also in a spot where they're just doing better and better and better here, and it is starting to become a little bit of a problem for Crystal Gaming. I feel honestly for Crystal Gaming it must be really disappointing how the last few matches have gone, just simply because how dominant they were in the qualifiers, and then they start off their first match with a pretty powerful performance. And then the match against Pepe Malady didn't really work as expected. Now they're going up against Disgusting, which they have probably locked down as a team that they're going to beat either way. But now Disgusting is really fighting tooth and nail for every single position in this particular map, or in this series. And it really shows. So the aggression is there against Phoenix. Oh, and that could be a kill. That is a kill. Too aggressive. Akunis with a quick pause. Actually seems like that might not have been completely voluntarily. Maybe there's something that's actually affecting him. So maybe we have a disconnect on our hands, maybe some other kind of problem, but whatever it is, it seems like they at least feel that this was not quite a natural death. But whatever it was a death that comes at a very, very bad moment in time, because just as the objective gets announced and is popping up, Phoenix dies. And already we have a few of the heroes quite low here too. So they are going to try and move back from this one. Leo hasn't really moved in yet. Akun is actually the one pausing the game, sorry. So if there was a disconnect, then it was more so Phoenix probably. But either way, they have now to wait for Phoenix to come back. It's 19 seconds, very early in the game still. And they need to make... Oh, they're losing 4. Oh, Malfurion is down too. They have the early level 7. Guys, this is rough. 3 kills against 0. You're ahead in experience. You have a fantastic position. And then this happens. So no matter what the reason was... like, even if there was a bit of a problem with Phoenix... hardware issues, whatever, it obviously doesn't make up for the fact that now Malfurion died together with it. So both of them down. We have again Sunfire Enchantment. Kolios really likes to play that variation on Kel'Thas. I'm gonna be honest, not really a fan, but he makes it work, and he also, as you can tell, believes very heavily in this. So he is already going for it together with the rest of the team. They have a 5 versus 5 again, but a lot, of course, of that lead that they had previously in experience and also in position is now gone, and they have to fight for that. And again, the kill against Phoenix. I mean, he's getting murdered here. Phoenix is getting heavily dropped by the blue team. They're focusing on him whenever they have a chance, and so far they've been absolutely crushing him. So bad performance here for Phoenix. The auto attacker is having huge problems here. Hopelessness on level 7 for Leo. We also have, by the way, the Dragon's Claw for Genji on 4. Calamity is, of course, now in for Li Ming, but that's 68% already on the objective, and it doesn't really seem like Crystal Gaming is going to stop anytime soon. They're looking at an absolutely phenomenal setup for Protector number 1 in this game, and it's going to be very, very rough for the red team to do anything about it. Now, they're pushing him at 5 again. But of course, it's now item time again, and thanks to the 90% that they already hold, it's literally up to Crystal Gaming of when exactly they want to take a fight here. So they are in a great spot to just force the battle that they want. They don't have a lead that is big enough to propel them, let's say, to level 10, for example. But it's still a pretty good setup here for them. And Misha is already locking in the charge. Oh, nearly a kill against Phoenix. I mean, Phoenix is getting murdered here. Absolutely murdered. This time he survives, but it's a close call regardless, and the position, even with the items already dropped on the ground, is starting to look better and better for Crystal Gaming here. The blue team is looking for a kill. They're spreading the damage with Kel'Thas in particular. The living bombs get spread here too, and they are already a little bit on the back foot. Then again, the blue team is also taking a lot of damage, and they haven't gone for the healing beacon during all of this, so that's another issue. But they can still tap the fountain. as does their opponent. But it's 95, guys, and Disgusting might still have a shot, despite the fact that they lost 3 heroes to those battles. Rexa gets traded against Leo, always a good trade for the Leo team. He's going to be back so much faster, definitely a great trade for them, and they're actually going to take it, aren't they? They're actually going to take the Protector, and they take the kills too. They get Genji, and they get Ana. Are you kidding me? Phoenix is about to die again. ETC gets him, but it also means that ETC himself is going to fall. What a game. Holy hell. This is actually super weird now. So all of a sudden we have 7 kills against 5, 10 versus 10, and that is incredible. Now Kolios goes again for the Pyroblast. A short cooldown on him because Lavakal moved out of the range. Honestly, if that Pyroblast would have hit, it would have been a really bad cooldown for him. Pyroblast is still such a meme. Yes, every now and then you're going to kill a hero, but most of the time you're not going to get a lot out of that. Then again, to be absolutely fair, with Genji around, it's a little bit of a different story. There's not a lot of shields that can be dropped on the targets. So, yeah, there's worse setups for it. But especially for the control of the position on the shrine itself, or on the checkpoint, it's obviously always nice to have Phoenix around. But again, they love to play with Pyroblast, so yeah, let's go for it. And if Genji can come in together with it, then that's a different story. And Genji was already on the way to the top when Khaldor was thinking about that. So there's definitely a 2-punch system that they're trying to run. But also, with the situation as it is, Ford in the mid lane has been destroyed completely. Up to the top, the fountain is down. So Disgusting is in a very, very good spot now. In experience, is not a massive lead or anything, but when it comes to map control, they definitely have the upper hand. It's really a problem, though, that Phoenix is just getting destroyed here. I mean, they're focusing on him the entire time. And that Pyroblast is going to get value. Yeah, you can run, but you can't hide, baby. So Phoenix is down. That's mad value for that. And they're continuing with the kill against Malfurion. Slicing and dicing, baby. He went in a little bit too deep. Thought that he could get the kill against Liming, but all of a sudden he eats the damage. He still wants the cooldown. He still wants the kill and is looking for it. But they're looking for the reset against Leo first. And yep, that one is locked in. Liming is still there, and he gets the kill, but he also dies. Still, made the kill happen, so totally worth it, especially since they now have full control over the map with the healing beacon that they just took, and they can move down to the bottom. I like it. Good series. 9 kills against 8. Very aggressive third game from both teams. And at this point, we have a pretty... I mean, I want to say a little bit of a lead in experience and talents on the side of Crystal Gaming, which is true, but the position is still kind of bad for them at the top lane. But they have taken a little bit of a lead now. It's still going to be an even talent fight, so it's a lead that is, for the next objective, a bit meaningless. They have an item advantage. That's the important part. So the item advantage, that's actually the big part here. But the fight is about to happen, and yep, there's the Entomb. They actually try to drop that. Healing Beacon is already baited out. Can they get a couple of kills in? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like the exact opposite is going to happen here with Malfurion already falling. This is bad news. And now a kill against Johanna. Guys, Crystal Gaming is all of a sudden wrecking them. Yeah, this is turning quickly. Khaldor's got interrupted. Again, couldn't get the Pyroblast through, but they get the kill now against Leo. And that's 3 heroes down, and there's the Pyroblast. Pyroblast comes in. Is that enough? Oh, it's gonna be a little bit close. And yes! This is actually a lot of Pyroblast value that they get in this game. It's probably the best Pyroblast game that I've seen so far. 2 kills already that otherwise wouldn't have happened. It was a clutch one against Liming, but still, they get the fort at the bot lane and the fountain. Now, of course, it's a trade, since towards the top lane, we've seen now Phoenix starting to do the exact same thing and trying to lock it down. But as it happens, he can't make it. He can't make it just yet. It will fall eventually, but Crystal Gaming has become a bit angry apparently after the loss on game number 1. So now with 13 against 8 kills, they're moving topside for the objective, and they will lock in level 16 with this. That last team fight was not really a bad choice necessarily by Disgusting. The position, of course, needed to be anchored a bit differently, but holy hell, are we all of a sudden seeing a mad game unfold in front of ourselves. 16 talents on the second objective is not something that you see a whole lot. It's usually barely level 13 that happens there. But it's already 21 kills in the game. I mean, we're pretty much 2 kills per minute at this point. Now there's the 16 talents. Ignite is the choice for Khaldor. Khaldor's on 26,000 damage. Can't quite keep up with Genji yet, but hell. He's still pulling it off, isn't he? Oh, in comes the damage. Yeah, that's a good salvo. Can they get a kill? Dead it to him also. Locking Khaldor's down. No kill against him, though. Khaldor still moves away from it. Koleos is alive and is still spreading the love here. One living bomb after another. And Genji is always looking for the follow-up. And the 16 talents give them, of course, a big spike here. Here comes the sliders. They're trying to make the play. And the kill against ETC. Sorry, against Leo. And nearly the insta-kill against Li Ming. She doesn't really have the hit point pool here. But she survives for a little bit. And there comes the second punch. But the second punch comes a bit too late. And Yasuo gets nearly eliminated. Well, scratched nearly. Yasuo is dead. Yeah, the one-punch, two-punch system. Pyroblast and Genji is what they're looking for the entire time. But this time it doesn't work out. 16 talents now, nearly ready for disgusting. They're not giving up. No. No, they're not. Definitely fighting for every single inch of the map here. Leo's gonna respawn in a moment, but the item has already been taken. So another healing beacon in the hands of Crystal Gaming. And the lockdown attempt against Leo as he makes it out. But just and turns it against ETC. That's a kill, isn't it? Is it? Is it? Hello? He gets out. Wow. That's annoying. Ah, well, Misha dies, and that's a reset for Lavakal. But still, 73% against 20. What a game! 17 against 16. 15 kills against 9. And they wait for the rest to come back so that they can fight for the objective again. But all these advantages that we have, it's comeback after comeback. It's just one hit after another. Already, they're starting to go straight in. Top side, there's the salvo, but that only drops a little bit of damage. Genji's protected, by the way. 60% against 73. It's not done yet. It's really not done yet. I already thought in the first objective that the blue team would get it for sure. But even on objective number 2, it's still up for grabs. They're starting to make their play. Phoenix! Yes, this time they get him once again. Phoenix is down. Objective, on the other hand. They still have it. They grabbed the objective. Yes, the heroes moved away from it, but it was still enough to get the final few percentage points in. Wasn't contested, and even with a double kill against Phoenix and Leo, the blue team can't get the protector. That's the second protector they walk away with. Oh my god. Crystal Gaming at this point, they're probably just looking at it like, really? Like, seriously? Honestly, 1 second more and they would have lost, the red team would have lost control over the top checkpoint, and they would have lost it. But yeah. And you look at the minimap and they're still so far behind. Now at least they were able to take the bottom, and this actually is really, really nice for them. I mean, they've opened the entire wall up, so for objective 3 that's going to be great. Leo even dies, and the Protector gets attacked too. Protector is not made for this one. Normally you prepare a bot lane, but the Protector is already at 50% HP. I don't think they can prepare a lot there. Mid lane is losing a little bit though. But yep, off we go. Protector doesn't do anything. Now again, they obviously lost 2 heroes as the Protector was still somehow dropped in their hands. But they can't really do anything with it anyways. But at least they take it away from Crystal Gaming. That's the important part. If Disgusting didn't take the Protector there, if they weren't able to lock it in, then they would have lost a lot. They would have lost complete control of the game. So yes, they might have not have been able to get a lot out of the Protector, but again, the situation was a 5 versus 3 against them as they grabbed the objective, so that matters. There's another setup against ETC. Slide, no party, but is he alive? Yes. And Li Ming is on the run. Malfurion is already dead. And the Pyroblast. Wow. Oh, that teleport there. That could have been the weirdest kill I've ever seen. But yeah, Yasuo comes in. Honestly, if you would have been able to get the kill command for the damage, that would have been absolutely insane. That could have been a really fantastic kill. Also, talking about kills, with level 20 in their hands and now 2 kills on the red team side, they can actually go for the keep at the bottom of the map. They're even trying to make the play for Li Ming, and oh, Genji! Genji with the Genji plays. Genji, by the way. Yeah, he dies, but, well, newsflash, so does the keep at the bottom of the map. And they have a mad lead now. Oh my god, they even get the setup against Johanna. Johanna is down too. Yep. And the objective isn't even announced yet. But items are up on the map, so they can actually get 2 items. You can tell that they were thinking about going for core. They were like, can we? Genji? No, probably not. But yeah. But they still can go for the items, and that's exactly where they're headed. So a healing beacon is up for grabs, and they don't hesitate. So they go for it. Mad amount of experience, by the way, that is moving through this. I mean, catapults in every lane are now pushing against them. If they could take a few forts down, that would really help them here, of course. But off we go. There's the camp to be taken, all the way up to the top. A little bit of a setup top side as they're going for another hit against the catapults. Push a lane back, pick camp, time that. Another item at the bottom of the map as they're going for another turret. And ETC is actually making sure that he is guarding the play, guarding the camp. But the red team doesn't even think about invading. They don't have 20. Without level 20 talents, without storm talents, they just don't want to risk it. And yeah, off we go. So yeah, 21 against 10. Big lead in kills. But that only matters if you can also win the game. And maybe the objective, which so far they haven't been managed to pull off. Okay, objective is announced. It's going to be 20 versus 20. There we go. Buried Alive is ready now. Radiating Faith, Buried Alive. Great talents for them. Especially, of course, Buried Alive. An absolute game changer. They're trying to save the top first. They're not making the rotation just yet. They have another 15 second. Tal Rushers for Li Ming. And there's another turret up for grabs. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's 3 items against 0. 3 items against 0. The Unconquering Spirit, the Unconquered Spirit for Phoenix. It's going to make it a little bit easier for him to survive here. He had a rough time so far. He died 6 times. So did Leo. Trade value was definitely activated in this game. Leoki is here. 86,000 siege damage for him. 80,000 damage, by the way, for Lavikal Li Ming. 80,000. Yeah, but here we go. Which is actually even more impressive if you consider that the Pyroblast was put onto him pretty much in every single situation in these fights to push him back. But off we go. That's the opportunity, that's the chance, that's the objective that's gonna matter. If it's taken by the blue team, it's pretty much game. Team fight here matters. Can they get the kills? ETC is already at the front. And Kolios has to fall back too. No blessed shield yet. There's the gravity lapse. There's the slide. Good damage. Salvo on Phoenix. But there's still a fountain. That's a big advantage now for Crystal Gaming. There's the Buried Alive. And the Feign Death is in. Malfurion is down. Pyroblast value, baby. Best Pyroblast game that we've had so far all year. And that includes 2018, by the way, as 2019. 2018 we didn't see Pyroblast. So yeah, that came after HCC died. Ana is down. That's the only one that they were able to take apart. But now that we have 3 heroes eliminated and Sato is likely to die too, it seems like this is going to be the end of it unless Lavikal is going to get some mad value from some quick resets. And I don't think that's going to happen. So now what are they going to do? Going to go straight for the core or for the objective? Core it is. Yep, with only Li Ming alive, they make the play here. Could have waited it out a little bit longer, decided against it. They have to be careful. Resets are always a danger. But of course, Li Ming would have to pull off an absolute miracle defense in order to make this one happen. It looks like Crystal Gaming is going to take the lead here. Lavikal is looking for the angle. Misha is just eating the combo. The shield is already down. Malfurion down for another 8. And yeah, there's no way. There's no way. Leo is there and he at least drops another Buried Alive. Is there a way? 50%? They're going for it again. They're at a 40%. Heroes are coming back. 29. Misha down. Nah. Well, maybe. 8%. Kelthas down. Yeah, that's game. That's game. That's game. That's game. Crystal Gaming with a 2-1 lead against Disgusting in Division S Europe. Game number 4 could be the last one. Either this or we're going for 5 mapper, depending a bit on the result on Cursed Hollow. Our 4th map. Disgusting. Definitely stepping it up a little bit after they lost the first map. Got close on a few of those instances, especially the last one. Super brawly. A lot of fights in the mid game in particular. But Disgusting lost and Crystal Gaming is now ahead with a 2-1. And with Cursed Hollow, this is another map where we can get a lot of globals. Dehaka, Falstad, ETC. They still ban out Maiev. I mean, the ban patterns already, I don't really think there's going to be a lot of change. Deathwing is probably going to be banned out by Crystal Gaming again. Why would you change a winning system? And now the only real question is if Disgusting bans out Lucio once more, and I think on Cursed Hollow you definitely want to ban him, considering how well Crystal Gaming plays with him. And yes, so the Lucio ban is in. But this is the map where, again, we could see ETC focus, Falstad, Dehaka, 3 of the heroes to focus on when it comes to global control of the map. And then, of course, the usual suspects, especially on the mage side. Another map also where we've seen, I think, once already, Kel'Thas from Crystal Gaming. Slight adjustment on the ban. Getting rid of Johanna here. Trying to target the front line a little bit on the side of Disgusting. So, yeah. And, okay, let's see. This is really like one of these setups where you now have to, like, when it comes to the mages, Li Ming is out, you have Jaina, Kel'Thas is an option. When it comes to tanks, you can even think about going into Tyrael, for example, because the sanctification on those boss spots is really, really powerful. Hanzo, Greymane, all would help you also to grab a boss if your opponent gives you any opening on the map. Now, Li Ming, first pick here for the red team, and it makes a whole lot of sense. Lavakala actually played Li Ming on the map that they won, the first map. He had an insane damage output on the last one, but now they're going up against exactly the part of the setup that I just mentioned. Tyrael for boss lane, for boss spot control, and Greymane to take the boss. Plus, of course, if you jump in with the 2 heroes in the opponent's backline, the Sanctification and the Swift Retribution is going to help you to set Greymane up for a fantastic damage output here. So, yep, there we go. Aggressive setup from them already. I mean, theoretically, this is also the setup that you can use if you want to go for the backdoor strategy. Just saying. We've seen it once. I highly doubt we're going to see it here. But this is the setup that you want to play if you're trying to play with Morales, with Falstad. We've seen that particular cheese just the other day. So if you haven't seen it yet, then you should check out the YouTube video. I think it's a Division S. The thumbnail, the Division S thumbnail is marked with fun. It's Lauber's fan club that actually played it on Sky Temple. They actually banned Falstad. Don't tell me they're really gonna do it. Yeah, Morales gets banned. Disgusting is like, yeah, fuck you, not on our watch. That's the big fuck you ban right there. As Falstad gets banned and they see the Tyrael and Greymane setup, they just immediately is like, nope, screw you, then it's not happening. How dumb do you think we are? Okay, Morales gets banned out and that puts a quick end to it. But yes, with the Falstad ban, that's definitely a thing. To be absolutely honest, you don't have to ban Falstad. You can also pick Falstad for yourself. Falstad doesn't even have, like, he can fly in together with Morales and then he can gust the opponent away when they're moving in. So, Falstad, like, I feel these days the Falstad ban gives it away a little bit. Probably Disgusting would have banned out Morales anyways. But if you actually pick Falstad for yourself, that's fine too. The setup is still great for Crystal Gaming, by the way, so that opening doesn't necessarily mean you have to cheese. They have Thrall, they have Kharazim, so all of those heroes synergize well with Tyrael and the setup that he provides. Now we have Zeratul and Sonya on the other side. And Rhaegar, but yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, denied. No move in here. Okay. Well, off we go. Cursed Hollow, last pick for Ixia. What are we gonna see them grab? They could still switch it around a little bit if they really wanted to. But that is Abathur. Oh yeah, with Greymane, with Thrall, with Kharazim. Oh boy. Here we go. Disgusting against Crystal Gaming. Map number 4. It's Cursed Hollow. Let's head straight in. The 4th and theoretically, maybe even the final map of this best of 5 series. Crystal Gaming with the 2-1 lead against Disgusting as we're entering game number 4. To the left side, Kolios on Greymane, Slade on Thrall, Yazu on Kharazim, Skebubi on Tyrael, and Ixia on Abathur. Yeah, Abby is going to help a lot, not only Greymane, but also Kharazim is going to benefit from the symbiote a lot when it comes to that. And it's really, really difficult to run away from a Kharazim when he wants to chase you, especially now that the hero also has additional movement speed. And so Abathur can get a lot of damage too. Over to the right side of the map, we have Itrax now on Zeratul for Disgusting, Arconis on Sonya, Lavakal on Li Ming, Sartuas on Mal'Ganis, and Rutek is playing Mal'Ganis. So there's actually a couple of really interesting things already happening. First of all, we have the Trolling Thunder again on level 1 for them now. There's at the same time also the position at the bottom of the map where Kolios is hoping for rotation. It's going to be interesting to see the level 7 talent in particular from Abyssal, because normally, of course, you still see Mule taken a lot, but especially on maps like this where also there's bosses on the map, if you go for the Toxic Nest and the slow, that can be incredibly powerful because you just slow down opponent's rotation from boss to boss, for example, or towards the tribute, and you also grant vision. And on this map there's a lot of really just like close counters there that really make it difficult to avoid them, so going into Toxic Nest can be nice. Has a good damage though against the hero at the bottom of the map, so Greymane is already suffering a little bit, despite the fact that yeah, that Abyssal can help out. And here's the setup that I've been talking about. Kharazim is going to really benefit from this, and the pressurized glance already make it dangerous for heroes like Sonya. So of course there's not enough power yet to take them down, but still, this will be aggressive, especially after level 10. Now that we're looking at Disgusting, going for the camp, we have the Bruiser camp taken, so the camp control is just a bit better at the beginning. If Greymane is freed up to make it to the camps too, that obviously is going to make it very easy for him to grab those if Abyssal helps out. But since they currently only have, I mean, 4 bodies, so to say, on the map, it's always difficult to really get to those camps. And in this case, it's actually Kharazim that rotates over and starts to take the Siege Giants for the top lane before the Tribute even spawns. Tribute spawns top side now. So this is one of the reasons why the red team holds back the Siege Giant camp. Oftentimes at the 1 minute mark you see heroes go straight in for it, but they're trying to hold that back because it will push the bot lane while everybody is moving towards the top. There's again Dominance picked, so in this case we actually have the talent claimed again, highlighting what I talked about earlier when we had Battlefield of Eternity. Can still play pretty much every single talent on that tier these days after Blizzard made all of those adjustments. And there's a kill! Nice aggression through the middle, and it leads to the kill against Kharazim. Yes, Disgusting is showing the aggression that we've already gotten used to from them in the previous games, and they're looking even for a follow-up kill. If they can force game number 5, that would of course be fantastic. Currently we're looking on level 4 to the Adrenal Overlord, which is a talent that will benefit Greymane and Kharazim a lot. Tribute is already announced, and as mentioned, Rhaegar makes immediately his way down to the bottom of the map to get the Siege Giants. So, well, there we go. Up towards the top, Thrall is already doing his thing against Sonya, and Sonya is of course struggling there, especially with the Abyssal support. It's like the screwed up thing if you're a solo laner. If Abyssal is on the other side, even if you're in a position where you think you're winning the lane, once that Abyssal jumps in with the symbiote, you're always ending up in a really bad spot there. Bot lane gets now still pressured by Greymane, so it's a 3 versus 3 that we're seeing at the top. And since Rhaegar hasn't made his rotation towards the tribute yet, it also means that they are playing this without a support. The doggy going for the safe rotation all the way around, which is the smart move here. There could always be a bit of a trap set up, so that's important. And in we go. There's our little poke battle. That's actually something where Thrall also helps out with the Rolling Thunder now having the extra Chain Lightning bound, so it's easier for him to get the interrupt in. But Thrall, talking about him, nearly falls as Li Ming wants to get the kill. They have to be really, really careful. They're super mobile over here. Greymane comes in for the kill, and Etrax is a second too late. But he comes in, attempts to counter, and they get... No, they don't get Greymane. What? Greymane... Wow. Tyrael is dead. And Greymane... goes in for the setup. They take the tribute over here, but it was already delayed for quite some time. And now they're going for the kill against Li Ming, and she goes down. I told you can't run away from Kharazim with the symbiote, and they're losing 3. Yazoo with the triple kill. Yeah, that's the problem. Kharazim is already difficult enough to escape as it is with all of these dashes, and then now that he has the movement speed, that's of course making things even more tricky. If you add Abyssal to the equation, it's pretty much impossible to get away, and so it's a cleanup job, and now a solid level lead in experience. Also, the Mule gets dropped into the mid lane immediately. Abyssal now still soaking at the bottom of the map, but yeah, it's on, baby. It is on. The Abyssal setup that we are seeing here from Ixia is so far quite strong, and their goal is actually to make it to level 10. Once you have level 10 and you have the copy available, you can take these team fights completely differently. So they're trying to just delay these tributes for as long as they possibly can. If they can grab one, that would be the dream. But now they might even be able to just push it towards level 10. There's the setup though down here, and Li Ming comes in and is not able to get the combo off. Instead, we're actually having a lot of aggression thanks to Abyssal, who rotated towards the top to body soak a little bit on the top lane. Down here, the fight still ongoing. And now also Thrall, of course, has the extra sustain through his level 7 talent, can go for the Ancestral Wrath. Yasuo dashes away, and they have to yield the Field of Battle again. But the next tribute is going to happen around 10, and then they're going to have their copy up. Material down, trade value, not so much. Yeah, and I think now they have to retreat. If a couple of Chain Lightnings can interrupt it 1 or 2 more times, that would be the dream, but it's already not happening. It's too much of a risk, so that's 2 tributes against 0. 4 against 3 kills and 9 against 8 on the levels. Top lane has actually taken a lot of damage, and that's partly because of Thrall, who has done a good job with the help of Abathur early on against Sonya, but also, of course, the Abathur push now by himself. But level 10 abilities are now ready, and this is really where the Abathur team usually starts excelling a little bit more. Once that you have the copy ready, that's when shit gets real. So Cam gets taken, or get taken. We have go for the throat. And keep in mind, the idea is really to use that very mobile draft to just jump into the opponent's backline and rip them apart here. Greymane is going to benefit from the swift retribution, so does Kharazim. Both of them are going to be helped out by Abathur once the copy is down. But just to jump into the backline and then the Sanctification is already going to set all of this up. And if there's an Earthquake on the ground that even slows the opponent down a little bit more, that adds on top of that. So it's a really dangerous setup to go up against if coordinated well. There's always the little caveat there, right? If coordinated well. And there's the tribute spawning at the bottom of the map now. Over here, already getting ready, down to the bottom. You gotta be careful, dude. Like, you can't go up against this if there's an Abathur on the other side. These one-on-one situations are very rarely staying one-on-one situations. There's a lockdown already as they're trying to fight through the middle. Zeratul is now rotating in 2. Might of the Kharazim has been taken. Here we go. Greymane isn't there though. Sanctification is on the ground. They got the copy out, the double Greymane as they're trying to make their play. And Greymane at the bottom. Oh, sorry, the double Thrall. Greymane is actually soaking the tribute at the bottom. They might lose Thrall, and they do, but they get the tribute. No, yeah, they do. They do get the tribute, but Coleus is now going to die as well. Oh, easy. Oh, he gets the kill. The 1-for-1 trade. Nice, 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 nice. Well done here. Yeah, he would have fallen anyways as the rotation has hit, but still, they are actually able to get the counter kill. And now it's like 1 tribute against 2. They're still ahead in experience. They actually get mad damage at the top against Gate and Ford because of the Siege Giants and Abathur. So they're not too unhappy about this. Abathur is going to be great once the map opens up even more, so he can add a lot of value to this, just push the lanes out. Once that you have, for example, forts down and catapults keep spawning, Abathur with Symbiote can always push these lanes even more aggressively and escort catapults towards the opponent's gates. Or later on, of course, to the core itself. So it's a pretty sick game here already. And it's time for bosses too. Akunis is already there and they know exactly what's happening around that. Are they making a play for the boss down here? I don't really think so. Not with the tribute spawning. They want to avoid the curse, of course. In an ideal world, they want to go for the kill, but they can't. Kharazim is now rotating in 2. Has gone for the palm again. Always have to be careful, doesn't turn into a face palm. Timing is important. And there's the Soma Transference. Yeah, fantastic talent. One of the best, seriously. Sustain that you get with that. Oh, Sonya! She is all alone and she takes mad damage and she goes down. Mobility! Mobility. I talked about it earlier, but yeah, mad mobility from the team here. You can't easily escape from them. Sonya doesn't stand a chance, and that's the second tribute now taken for free. Up for grabs, taken for free. Defense at the bottom. Greymane is already at the 4 top side, takes it down. That's Catapult pushing for them. So that's great. Down here then again, they're already starting to jump straight in. Yeah, mad attack. Root tag, a little bit low. Yasuo, the Sanctification. Disgusting is trying to fight through here. And they get the kill against Kharazim. No palm. No palm, no win. Yep, the face palm moment for Kharazim, but Rhaegar has died too, and the fight isn't over. They still have Abathur. There's the setup though with the sleep. Coleus does he get a little bit of an assistance. Instead, Greymane actually is going in for the kill. They kill Zeratul first. Greymane wants to maybe even turn it around from... Oh my god, Lavekal! Slade locks her down and gets the kill. Yeah, teleports over, but didn't see this one coming. And now Abathur is helping out again as they're trying to make a play for Mal'Ganis, and they drop him. Mal'Ganis is down, and they even go for Sonya or Might here. Yeah, Thrall survived, having his own Frost Wolf resilience, and then the help of Abathar is just enough. And all of a sudden, this is starting to swiftly turn. 10 kills against 6. It is rough, guys. It is rough now. Yeah, off we go. Kolios is already starting to rotate. They want the curse, of course, and the blue team is actually looking at a potential curse against... I mean, it's going to be a curse either way. But Disgusting initially had the 2 tributes, and now they're struggling. I mean, of course, as I said, as long as the game ends into the late game, that's a nice setup. The palm and the kill. Zabatul can't attack anymore, therefore we have the kill against him, and now with level 16 talents, this is going to be... This is a tribute, yeah. They get Sonya too. I mean, at this point, Disgusting is starting to become... Oh my god, you gotta be shitting me. Sonya makes it out. Disgusting is impressive. They're really impressive. Considering how they improved here, this is quite something. I feel that they're starting to panic a little bit more, and I don't want to say they're falling apart, that wouldn't be fair, but they're definitely starting to, yeah, they're starting to make more mistakes. But generally speaking, the improvements of this team, it's really something. I like it a lot. Way of 100 fists, the kill against them against Rhaegar, but they are doing fairly well here, and considering how they came extremely late into Division S, you really got to appreciate the way that they are currently fighting for every single fight, for every single kill, for every single objective, for everything. Sonya goes down, and of course the momentum has hit them hard now. The top keep is going to be attacked in just a second. There's the self-palm, and it gets actually proc. They are absolutely murdering right now. This is what you're trying to do with this combo. If you're going for a Tyrael setup with Abathar Greymane like this and have even Kharazim together with it, it's all the momentum that you need. You're really thriving after every single little kill that you get. And now that we have 2 keeps already annihilated, Abathar is just going to have a field day here. The fort in the mid lane is also down. Abathar can just escort every single lane, but of course it's already more or less a losing position that the red team is in. So here comes the Earthquake, the attack, Atrax down, and they are just dropping them one after another. It should be game right here. Crystal Gaming, they definitely were caught a little bit off guard with the victory that Disgusting pulled off on map number 1, but now they're just in full force, in full force destruction mode. They're taking them completely down, one era after another. It's a killing spree, a mad killing spree that they have. If Kolios gets a little bit of help of Abathar, he's actually going to stay alive, and not only that, they're trying to turn it against Sonya, who also falls. 17 kills against 6. Again, it's just a momentum thing. At the beginning, it was more or less an eye-level game. Disgusting was even ahead, but once that you hit a certain amount of momentum, the game just swings, and the pendulum has hit them massively. A victory in the best of 5 series for the favorite as we headed in. Crystal Gaming takes it with a 3-1 against Disgusting. Much closer, though, than the score suggests, and Disgusting has pulled off a pretty solid performance here, but Crystal Gaming takes the big victory in the best of 5.